Hello. It is I, Luxy. How you all do today? It is Wednesday, and we are doing more Palworld. We just moved our base, so there's new stuff to find, new pals to find over here, and actually remake some of the base. So it's gonna be a fun night of just chilling, getting our shit together again, and yeah. Ace now realizing there's trees on the server. It's just small things. Anyways.
Oh, are we part of your introduction?
No. Ace was.
Wait, which
Oh,
part?
that.
God damn it,
Little
Donut.
beach one.
I don't have a
Said a
fire
lot of shit.
Yes, I do.
If Top is here, he'd be able to explain it a bit better than I was.
Yep. Oh, that requires power.
Oh, you have ore stuff over here, right? Hang on.
Yeah.
Let me give you.
I'm gonna put a ranch over here at the farm area, and then I'm gonna put a ranch at the main base. That way we can kind of divvy up like the high quality cloth, the oil we need.
Sure,
Do we have
Whether we need different organs too.
that's fine.
power supply thingy here?
Where at the site base? The main base.
Yeah, it's over here. This is just gotta get charged. That's all.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, we.
Oh, it's charged. We're charged.
Why am I not getting power for the...
I'm putting in
awesome.
some of the worker pills over here right now.
For what?
Be trying
What's
to use
this?
It didn't work before. The furnace. It didn't
That's
work
because
before.
It's making stuff right now.
But my pal just looked at it, went, "Her," and walked away.
I think you're delusional.
Have you stopped feeding your paint or like fucking pals paint chips?
I
You're not supposed to feed them
mean,
paint chips anymore.
You're not my mom.
Excuse me.
Sweetheart, I fucking think you should feed your pal paint chips.
Because
anyways.
I listened to her growing up.
Yeah. Yep.
Right.
Yeah, you goddamn drug addict.
That's your mom.
Oh, right. My bad.
I'm here to make
There
some
it is.
spheres.
Change that. What I
How many
need
spheres do you
is-
need to make? If you've got any of the lower level spheres, you can probably disassemble them.
Wait, you could disassemble them?
Yeah, but I think that's an actual technology thing we have to unlock.
I feel like the
So I got
tree's gonna fuck somebody
I have
up.
100 of the blue ones.
You can crush those up to make
Palladium fragments.
Palaria. Hey, Palarina. Oh no.
All right.
It's Mega. That's it. Mega's the only one that'll let you do it. Blue
Oh,
one's
the
really-
books.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's shit.
But the boop, but deeper Macarena, but the deep, but the Macarena, but Macarena.
Should grab
Hey,
that.
Keep your day job.
Did you say keep your day job?
Don't quit your day job.
No, he said don't keep my gauge. I'm gonna do it. I'm
Don't
gonna not
your
keep my day.
job?
Yeah, I'm
He's
not gonna
do
keep my
cover
day.
up the songs.
Yeah, that's what you told me. I can quit my job now. Lux, I hope you're able to support me.
Okay.
Community, I hope you're able to support me.
No.
Fuck, it's 6 o'clock. Jesus Christ.
I don't think Jesus Christ has anything to do with temporal bullshit.
Jesus Christ is a Time Lord.
I don't do that franchise.
I don't either.
I'll
but I
put
know
a
what Time
regular
Lord
one
is.
out too. Whoa, hello, May.
Doomud is just straight up
Shoopy,
pumping his rock.
hello. I see you lurking there. Oh shit, Reg.
Can I? Yep. Here we go.
Yeah, that's 8 beds.
Hey, Anubis, you wanna like... Okay. He's building through the wall. Got it.
He doing his
I'm
thing.
like two fromage.
I love how bored your cat looks helping.
He's a lot more exciting on the battlefield.
Just like Ace. Thank you for the omelets, crew.
That's funny.
What did I put down there? 8 of them, so I need 7 more.
That's what I was gonna do. I was gonna, grab some berries for over here.
So, are these like cabinets better than regular chests?
Yeah, they hold
Yeah.
like 40 slots compared to 24.
They hold sluts?
Just for you, Lupin.
I also like
Not wrong. I mean, what?
Jesus, do I supposed to not like that or like that? Someone tell me what to do with my emotions.
Anubis, get your ass back in there.
You're asking
Like your
me?
bud.
That's a bad idea.
No, I don't want what you're selling. I don't want what you're selling, devil boy man, baby. Oh my god, to get it out. Ah, get it out, bitch.
Hey, you might want to finish these beds before you put any plants in here.
It's fine. I wanted them to get started on, planting. It'll be fine.
Don't worry about the ones I put in there. They help to build beds.
I'm just the full top row. I just wanted to get food in here. Some extra food, and I want them to start planting because it takes fucking forever. Anubis is saying he's building, but I'm not exactly sure
He's
where
building
he
up
is.
top.
This he doesn't answer to the likes of you. He's a god.
I forget you can only place down a certain amount of beds before you can actually have to build the others. Fuck me.
A Bushi Nocturnal, I watch you. I might have done it bad. Oh, this is a. Oh, Jesus, 65.
I'm taking a calculated risk having him start working right away.
I'm quicker than you, and I have a gun. Go, my knight!
Alright, these are the last 3 beds.
You are in the bed.
I sure am.
Oh.
Would have been funny to see you become the bed.
Yeah. Lupin.
Hey, Lupin.
Is pediatrics office?
We hear that.
Pediatrics?
That's unfortunate. Well, I can't catch this Bushi Nocturnal, so I'm gonna kill it.
Why can't you catch him?
Because even my best free only has a 5% chance.
And you didn't try it?
I did. He bitch slapped it away.
How much did you damage him?
To 1 HP.
Oh, well, yeah. Alright, let me put a roof on this bitch.
Like, I ain't gonna get much better than 1 HP. Duck guns.
Eventually, I'm gonna want to make a stove and shit here, but I'm just gonna let them farm right now.
Stofers?
Yes,
Stovers?
stovers.
Oh shit, guys, we're getting Stofers!
Anyways.
Stuff.
They make good lasagna.
Yeah. Been a minute, but yeah, I think I remember this line to be. Guy.
Oh, I don't have a water.
Oh, I need a. I'm gonna need a. What is it that stops him from getting injured?
Clinic.
Clinic. The fuck is that?
I can make one.
I'm not sure if I. I mean, I probably don't have it unlocked. I'm gonna have to unlock a bunch of stuff. I do not. Look at that. There's an ancient clinic at 73. Holy shit.
I want a modern clinic.
I think that's about as modern as you can get.
Lux, I found a pal you want.
What? Me electric kitchen.
Remember, K2 Nocturnal? That's a purple fox.
Oh yeah, I have
Let's
one of those.
actually hatch that.
Yeah, I hatched mine.
Fine, never mind.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay, so electric kitchen. I need circuit board, charcoal, flame organ. Circuit board, charcoal, flame organ. I'm not gonna remember that.
I hate the building in this game so much.
Why?
So, these corner pieces, right? I can't just snap it to the corner. I have to actually build roofs like this and then attach the corner piece.
That's stupid.
Yeah, they didn't put much thought into their
No,
They're
they
building.
didn't.
considering it's one of the most important things for a base is being able to build and shit, you know.
Nah. Nah. Can't have that.
That's all. Ace, did I send you the TikTok of the girl who's just straight up struggling with doing the first one of those grid puzzles
Grid puzzles from what?
for the hacking stuff?
Or
Palworld. The ones that you go take the thing, you hack it, and you have to fill all the squares in.
I haven't had one like that yet, so.
Good. Super easy.
That's the thing with the grid things from Helldivers. I was like, I've seen people struggle with it before, yeah.
Oh, do we need a circuit board?
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Hey, a couple of your pals got taken out, by the way.
Huh?
There's a rampant fucking war sectarian in the damn base.
And he's just decimating the base.
Oh, there's
That's
nothing I
the
can
only
do about
bad
that.
thing about not having the walls up, but I don't want to put walls up. Well, even so, these guys are just kind of waltzing in when they shouldn't be.
I'm currently carrying a lot of stuff and none of it's a circuit board. It's fine.
I'm making my way back to the base, but it's gonna take a minute.
Yeah, some of those pals from the base are probably low level. I should have just left some high attackers in there.
Ah. Well, the corner of the house is gonna be missing. It'll bug me, but whatever. I'm not rebuilding this shit.
Just put something there like you meant to do that.
Yeah.
Happy little accident.
I found a dungeon that I can't do.
Can't find circuit boards, so I'm gonna I'll come back and drop some attack pals in there.
Well, it's dead now.
Well, yeah, but I'm sure it's gonna respawn at some point.
So why aren't we building walls? Is it because it's just too many resources right now?
Nah, it just
Like to have walls between friends.
Nah, that's a blatant fucking lie.
He wants to talk about feelings now.
Stop lying.
don't you fucking lie to me.
He's not lying to you, he's lying
I'm
for
lying
you.
about you. God damn it.
The good thing is though they recover on the bed, so they can just sleep there.
And that's it.
What's going on?
Is there an assignment bench thingy there?
No. We need to build one of those too.
I will build it.
This bitch.
Can I build one of those? I can build a regular miner too, I need the high quality. I don't have enough technology points to unlock that.
I have the high quality monitoring stand, but I need ingots and cement.
Yeah, once we get base set up, I'm sure one of us will be at just about one base at a time. So if you ever need to
They
change
have
that
night
stuff.
protectors, it's fine.
Okay, I could probably enhance my stats quite a bit.
Boost.
There. Base should be protected now. Alright, so circuit. Ingots and cement.
Alright, your powerhouse is done.
Thank you.
So you've got a regular house, you got the powerhouse.
It should be all I need, really, for right now.
What powers are you gonna put in that ranch in your area to like get passive?
I don't know, whatever we need. You're doing more than one ranch, so we can figure that out. Probably don't need all these circuit boards I'm putting in there.
Did it destroy my fucking ranch that I put down? I know we usually need what? We do flame organs, electric organs, wool, leather, high quality power oil, high quality cloth.
I don't know that I have some of what you're looking for there.
The high quality cloth second I have the Civilix one. I think you have one as well. So it doesn't
Yeah,
matter who puts
I
them in
can do
there.
that.
High quality power oil is a Dumud. I've got some Dumuds. I don't know if those are any better. Let me check actually real quick.
Everything's better in gold.
Holy shit, man. So the regular Dumuds have a farming of 4 or 1. The gold ones have a farming of level 4.
Nice.
So I'll put one of those in there for ramp.
I thought I had a 5 farmer in there.
Well, no, Doomid's the only one that does the high quality pal oil.
Oh, the oil. That's right.
Alright, so all bases should have 15 beds. We might be able to put 2 ranches at the main base since there's not really much going on here. We'll see. Your Astagon knows how to build. That's kind of fun.
It does. He's a good boy. Girl.
Why is the
Boy, girl.
memory sleeping on the food box?
Because that's what bad people do. They protect their food.
He barely can't fit through the door, Ace.
That's literally a pal door for it.
Yeah, you think he can fit his wide butt through that? I don't know.
Moldron fits in it. And he's wide.
Oh, you know what I didn't do when I went back to base because I'm stupid?
And forgetful.
Yeah, hit him with the 1-2.
I mean, he said stupid. Forgetful is the word he's really looking for.
No, I like stupid.
Alex, did you see my my watch spot?
I did not.
Just look up at the site base.
Yeah? You like being up there?
I can see everything.
Mm-hmm.
All hail Overlord Ace.
Hey, whoa, 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 whoa! I ain't running it like a damn prison camp. They've all got nice beds. They've got nice food boxes.
Keyword. Yeah.
I have no reason to run it like one.
Yeah, you do. You're a horrible person.
Yeah, that's what
I am not.
That's your rebuttal. No.
God damn it, Donut.
Alright, let me... We needed leather, right?
Yeah, serpents will be your leather one.
Will the higher level serpents do any good for that?
You can condense serpents into one, and it'll up their farming.
Well, they have the sand one.
I don't have a sand one.
I do. I don't know where it is. I hatched one.
I was gonna do a thing, and now I forgot why I came back to base. Oh, right. Do we have an egg catchy thing in here?
Yeah, you can do it.
Yeah.
At the main base,
Where?
in front of the house. The serpent terran does not have farming, so no, just
No.
a regular serpent.
It is gathering, but not farming.
Oh, large scale electric e-figures. Okay. It's better. Hatch eggs. Hatch.
We can technically. What the fuck?
I think someone has my other flame. I'll drop this one in here.
The flame bell?
Yeah. I had two. I can drop my last one.
Paladin
So I have a
broken.
serpent. What else do we need? High quality cloth, which is you. Flame organs. Anything else that we need right now?
It can hold what, up to 4?
4.
What do you got on it currently?
I have high quality cloth, flame organs, and leather.
Alright, let me go put a Duma in there. This demon has the abnormal thing.
That's funny. Blonde, how you do? Buns. What the hell? Why are you streaking in here?
Ooh, what are you?
Oh, wait.
Yeah, meteorite landed over here, and Loaf's like, "You want this Xeno guard?" I was like, "The fuck's a Xeno guard?"
Okay.
So I go up to the meteorite, and I see a boss health tree. I was like, "What the fuck?"
Sure, why not, right?
I was like, "I ain't never seen this bitch."
Oh, you're so cute.
Are you asking how you do the assignments, Blood? Meteor guy. How do you get it? He just spawned randomly at one of the meteorites. Oh, that cat event for Phasmophobia starts the same day that they're going to release their quality of life update.
Really?
Check out this cute patootie.
Who? Where? That ain't small fucking whale.
It's got like a 5
Mary.
and 6 eyes. 5 water, 6 eyes. I might actually swap the
What, the
whale
inland?
out. For the...
And then, because I hatched a bunch of eggs, I got that Nightmare, which she's cute. And then this guy.
Yeah, those are actually in the area we're in right now.
I hatched it in an egg.
I believe the mining base has some food in it, so I'm gonna start putting.
There should be food, but we'll get rocking
Out
on
in
this.
Yeah, it's got 720 berries. So,
You guys just do ranch stuff. You do farm stuff.
ooh, you got level 5 mining. I'm gonna put you in.
Oh, do you know a good miner?
Oh, I need a high quality monitoring stand over here. If someone knows how to put it down.
Yeah, I'll just focus on this and then I'll get a stove later. Let's just make a shit ton of veggies. Shit ton of veggies. You a big boy. Let's do that, but I don't want you to do that. I want you to do that. Okay. Okay, we should be okay, I think. Love, thank you for the sub.
I hope your pizza's delicious.
Alex, do you mind building a high quality monitoring stand down here?
I can do that. Where do you need it?
You can put it on a stone platform on it now.
Do we have a blueprints chest?
The
They're
schematics
outside.
Why?
Um, alright.
Sweet, thanks.
Yep.
Oh, you also got medicinal.
The whale, I think, is laying on top of the food chest. Yes, it sure is. The whale.
Cooling it.
The whale is very happily cooling the chest. It's fucking great. Alright. So I just need... food. It's flatter here. Why does that? Why does what have cheeks? What do you mean?
I think blind's delusional.
I think so.
Wow. So regular Bushi has 3 logging or lumbering, but the Bushi Nakti has, or Noct has 5 lumbering.
Nocty.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have so much food. This is great. The farming is very effective.
Now that you've got everything set up, you can add more farms if needed too.
We're never gonna run out of food.
Alright, so I need lumbering. Lumbering! You got 3, 4. Oh, you know what I fucking haven't built? Damn spas. Holy shit.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. I'm gonna build those.
I don't have the high quality spas, so someone else will have to build them.
I thought I did. Let me see.
I have
I
a blueprint.
do, but I
that-
need more stone.
So where do we put the blueprints? I don't see
There's
like
chest outside. Top schematic. To the far right of the base, beside the assembly lines. You're going left, Sec.
on my screen. That's fine, right?
There's 4 chests. No, go to left. You just passed them.
There's nothing here.
There's nothing right here.
Oh, those are chests.
Oh. We need stone then.
Hold up.
No.
Well, fine then. I ain't gonna get it.
There's only 50 or 5, I think.
Yeah,
there.
we used a bunch for Paldium, I believe.
Shit. Is the ore
Well, I'm
base
getting-
making anything?
I'm starting to get it set up right now.
In worst case, I'll just throw a miner out for a little bit. Do I have a miner on me? Hang on. Because I'll put hot
Captures all
springs
kinds of
everywhere.
people.
Do all the bases need the spring?
Yes.
Oh, let me... Level 2 miner. Level 4 miner. I think I have one even higher than that.
Oh, wait, what? Oh,
Level 6 miner.
I can get you some stone. How much stone do you need?
Level 7 miner? A lot. We need 50 per spring, and we need at least 1 per base, so... Yeah,
It's not
that
much.
many. I'm sure we'll need
on
it
the
for other
pal.
things, too.
I found a pal who reduces stone weight by 80%. Butler. Look at
Holy
this.
shit.
What?
Nocklum has 7 mining.
Plasma has 7 as well.
I'm gonna try to put the higher quality ones on the mines that take longer for the item materials, because the higher their skill is, the faster
Yes,
they
but
do
I
it.
just need some stone right now. See if we can pump that out fast and you can put them on there. Or I can just, I'm just going to do this. What I was
Oh,
gonna
you
do.
know, I got 2 that are going on stone right now. The scorpions have level 5 for stone.
My dog has 6, so we're going to put him to work too.
Is there a good stone farming
Everyone's on
spot?
the stone.
There's stone nodes here.
Yeah, she's not as high of a miner, blonde. Hello. Thank you for that prime sub. Give me all Amazon's money. Sinerty, hello, how you do?
So I still need 3 more
Oh,
miners
the witch
for
is cute when
here.
she's sleeping.
You got level 6, that's right. Put you on-
Where do you want the hot spring here?
Keep pushing.
Get big, so it's going to take up space.
You can put it right in the middle. Yeah, that'll work.
Figure since you got a bunch of mining already, we'll do yours first. You're also cute. No! Not allowed. I'm gonna put the spa next to Loaf's Love Shack here.
It's the fuck boulder.
Yeah, you're right. The fuck boulder.
I said it's the rock's sibling. You've got the rock, and then you got the fuck rock. And then Luffy was like, you've got Daniel, and then the cooler Daniel.
God damn.
Damn cooler, Daniel.
There's a couple other things that I can actually put down to decrease sanity loss, or at least one thing. I don't know where to the infrastructure. How? New. Other? Yes. So for each base, we don't have to worry about it right now because it's not a super important thing currently, but it would help. We need an alpha wave generator and a beta wave generator. The
I
alpha
can't do
one,
that.
no, I can do both. It's right now. It's like one of the later. The alpha one slows the rate at which the sanity value of base pals decrease. The beta wave, though, increases the works base speed of pals. So we'll place one in each base later on.
Alright, I have 2 saunas down. I'll do the other 2 when they get there. Now you can buy a new book. I do not need more books. I mean, I could get more books though.
That's. Do you guys hear that addict in there? I don't need it.
Good.
It's good though. Good boy.
Quick though.
Good boy. Good boy.
You guys seem to rest a lot in here.
Alright, I think I have enough for the others. Oh, we don't have the 4th base yet, right?
No.
Okay. Let's put this on here.
I love these electric birds that Loaf hatched. They're so puffy looking.
Alright, everyone's got a sauna.
Sweet. I don't think I need anything else right off the bat. I don't think so.
Let me know if you do. I can make quite a few of the take care of
We need to
pet stuff.
put.
That's what I need.
We need to put a silo in your base.
Yeah. I don't know if I have that.
I can. Just give me a second.
Probably gonna need a mill. So I can make flour. Trying to think. What else I will need. Tall man, hello. Thank you for the subby. How you do? Better be good or else. Oh, silo. I don't want that.
No, you're good. I just put you on.
Um. I thought there was a thing that helped like plant things.
Maybe.
I could be wrong. Could
Like I
also
said, I know
just
the
be
silo just helps. Well, that is a silo. Actually, I wouldn't think about it.
Yeah, it's a silo. Okay. I have a
Pretty
silo.
fancy
I
too.
have a watering fountain.
Yeah, I don't have.
It's the guild palebacks. Is this
Each
it?
base has one.
Where is it?
It's in the middle of the base. Are you looking for a guild chest or power box?
There we go. I just put 1,400 stone in there.
Are you looking for the chest? Yeah.
Alright. Melting from the heat. Oh god, it's so miserable outside. I hate it. It's the worst.
With summer so much better than winter.
No.
Whoever says that's insane.
The membrane.
Insane in the brain.
Get the camera. Lux said the brain rot thing.
Yeah,
Stimmy.
I've got problems. It's fine.
Me too.
Buddy, why are you flacking up? Are you alright? You got 66% sanity. Why? Why do you have low sanity?
Oh, look, I belong to me. How dare you? How do I make electricity?
You need a power generator, which I didn't place them down low. Did. Well, actually, I can make it for you.
I already unlocked Power Jenny.
Well, the large power generator?
It doesn't have a large power generator, it's just power
There you
generator.
go. It's in the ancient technology.
Oh, I don't have that.
Seems like
I just need enough to light an electric stove. So really, I don't need a super power Jenny.
wouldn't hurt to have one. Just in case you want to put anything
If you want to plant one, I'm totally fine with it. I've got electric pails I can use.
Okay, you want to come help me build this? If you've got a pallet also does building.
Building. Yeah, I can grab my Anubis. Where is my Anubis boy? Where are you?
Over by the
I'm
water
so
fountain in Silo.
sorry.
By the what?
The water fountain in Silo.
Oh, you were here. My bad. I'm gonna have to move that sauna. I realize it's in the way of a... Oh, that's still gonna take out a minute, huh?
Yep.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, the little...
I've
That's
come to help.
absolutely amazing. Yeah, tell me, but this is just a farm base. It's not going to have a lot of production. The production's in the other bases, not here.
Production then reproduction things.
It's something over it. She's the handy goat, you know. Handy goat sounds weird.
I just have big body Numis and segment.
Loaf? I don't know. I don't remember if Loaf found or hatched a flame. I call it a flame nun. It's what it looks like.
Flame nun.
Loaf will have to show you. Anyone who says working the heat is better than the cold, you're a fucking liar. I can only take off so many layers without putting strippers out of business.
That's what I'm
I'm
saying.
in love with this stripper.
Hello. You gonna show us the flame?
Hey,
nun?
Loaf.
Oh yeah, he's got a. They've got their Splatterina handiwork up. Super fucking quick.
Hey, Loaf, we needed you like 5 minutes ago.
Loaf's piles of them most
That's
of the building
insane.
in all three bases.
That's fucking insane.
Okay. My pal helped. Oh, look at him. He's flexing.
Because he's generating
electricity.
electricity. Yeah. Which means I'm going to put one of mine in here. I'll take out Frost Stallion. I don't really need you in here anymore. And who do I want? Search electric.
Flame on the expedition. No!
33, no!
4, 3.
Hey, you need electric pals?
No, I've got them. I've got some 4s. I don't, like I said, I don't need a lot. I just,
Well, I've got a 5 if you want.
but I could just do this.
That's up to you. Oh my god. Go, little buddy! Well, you're not really little, but go!
He's a 4. I think
He's
it's
flapping
fitting.
his arms.
I think it's fitting. I guess I'm gonna have to move the fountain and the silo a bit, but just so they have room to.
No, you can put him right here if you want.
Yeah. Trying to make it so they have room too. I don't want anything fucking it up. Don't think the water fountain actually does anything.
It does.
Does it?
It improves the watering speed.
Yeah, but like, do they need access to it?
Placing no, it's for the whole base. So it can be placed right. Hey, there's a flame nun. It's kind of in the silo right now though.
Where was it?
Lex, come here.
What?
Flame nun. And Anubis is just like, hey!
That's amazing.
Flame nun.
Flame none. Yep. Put the sauna next to your fuck boulder loaf. You're welcome. It bothered me it was in this pathway, so I moved it back. Alright, so no one should have any issues with pathing. Happy whale boy is just happy. That's true, Lo. It is true. Oh, you know what we're going to need, Ace? Storage for materials. How big of a box can you make?
What
For the
kind of
farm,
material
for the
do you
ranch
want?
shit.
Oh, I got you. Give me a second. Just one refined chest should do, honestly.
I just put it by the ranch, I guess. There's room next to it before the farms. Right here. I know the whale is like wailing.
I love how the Noclum carries the berries around.
It's great. I love it.
We need to put pals on the main base now, I believe.
I threw some pals out in the main base.
No, I just mean for the ranch part,
Oh.
because I don't have anything. There's a Doom Mud in here, but we can... is this your Doom Mud sec? Sec?
Huh?
Is this your Doom Mud in here?
I don't know, maybe, probably.
You can pull them out if you want. I've got a Doom Mud in Lexus farm area that has level 4 farming. So, what organs do you got down there, Lex? Yep.
Flame organ.
We need electric. Get in there, Sparget. We don't have any for wool, that's right, so...
Doing a funny ha-ha. You'd like to see the funny ha-ha.
Oh.
Come here, Lex. We're doing a funny ha-ha moment.
You got a Sibilix in there, in yours, right? For the high quality
Yes.
claw?
Yes. I don't know what your funny haha is.
For Neil the Seal.
Hey, Loaf, you need eggs and milk for your cakes, right?
That's a Jaffa cone. It's for Neil. I thought it was funny. Fuck you.
I mean, it wasn't not funny.
You just need eggs. Okay, I'll put a chicken in here then.
Why are these big crystals not smashable?
I'm gonna put a depressor in there too for venom glands. So we got venom glands, electric, eggs, and I don't know who Duma this is, but
What ice cream box?
Sure.
I shall be back in a bit. I gotta go do something real quick.
eggs and honey. All right, I got a bee in here. Ain't a shit on.
Thank you. It's a single scoop. Jesus. Thanks. No, Tom, man, we're just gonna do, cause we're doing just our base stuff today. We're just gonna hang out and do that. I'll be back on tomorrow. No bigs. But we moved everything yesterday, so I wanted to... Are there M&Ms in this? That's weird.
M&Ms
They're
aren't
weird.
weird.
No, but they're hard as a rock when they're in ice cream. Oh,
Crunchy.
I get it. Chocolate volcano. I'm smart.
Alright. Oh, give me one second. Got my son.
Huh?
The bee. We're making honey for Lowe's fucking branch.
I love
Why
ranch.
are you upset, buddy? You got 60% sanity. Why is your sanity so low? You guys doing alright? 87, 89. Left says they have another power they think you might like.
Oh. You know what we need to do? Incubators.
There's incubators at the main base. But if you want to put incubator down there at the other base, that's perfectly fine.
That's up to low. Oh, I saw that one in the trailer. I really wanted that one. Also, nice level. It's very pretty. I remember seeing it and I went, I need that too.
Ah, that's what it
I'm getting there though. I'm higher in level now. Yeah, so the other day Lupin and I went pal hunting and he made a mission to get me leveled. Which I appreciated.
I gave you the boost.
That's how I have a frost stallion I can't ride yet.
Even though lowest level's higher. Comments?
Loaf is in
Concerns?
fact higher.
Yes, but
Loaf and Lupin just do Loaf and Lupin things.
9. Do the thing.
This motherfucker. At least it's not the other number.
Did you want to hunt anything? I need more arrows. You forgot to make arrows, huh?
I hope you guys are okay with the mummy making medicine for the main base.
Gross.
I like it. Oh, nice, Loaf.
Ah! That's funny as fuck.
I'd have to have armor upgrades. What do you mean?
No, because I can... Anything you've unlocked, you can put. So, like, the cosmetic hats that we used to have or whatever.
Yes, but that's assuming I have armor to upgrade into and then transmog. But also, I love this. Thank you.
I don't know if you really love it. And here,
You're about to get a sad uwu.
called an ooh won't.
Call me a Pokemon.
Love you. Yes.
Anyways.
know what? That glove fit? Yeah?
Look here, you motherfucker.
Oh, you don't wear a glove? No love for you, bitch.
Oh my god.
Space has the production stuff.
What do you mean production stuff? Like ores and wood?
To make stuff.
The main base.
Which one's the main base?
The one on the cliff. The one you're at
He's,
currently.
he's gonna be so confused.
But who's on third?
I don't know, 1 second.
The fuck up, Ace.
I don't want to hear it, Bojo. You literally got on before everybody else, and you still asking where shit is.
Get off all the time.
That's really nothing new.
Look. That's personal biz, Lupin. I don't want to hear about you getting off.
Well, you pointed it out. Arrows.
I need more stuff. Actually, no. Don't build it, Anubis. Don't do it. Hey, close enough. Looking at me from outside.
Guys, why are you sleeping outside? There's little beds in the fucking house.
Fuck your property.
It's okay, the whale's like through the building.
I wonder if the beds are so close it just ruined the pathing, so that's a possibility.
That could be.
That's kind of funny. The pals at the ore base or the production base are literally just sleeping wherever. Fucking War Sect is sleeping at the log site. So is Noclo. I believe we have all the bases set up now. For the most part.
Close enough.
Damn, it's 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Shut up, Ace. Stop talking about time.
Yeah, well, my issue is I haven't heard anything about Den yet, so I'm gonna go check on that.
That you deserve.
Look here, you motherfucker.
He's looking respectfully.
The fuck I am.
Yeah, I take it back. It's fine.
Alright, I'm back. We're having pizza for dinner.
Yes. Isn't it?
As you-
Fuck. All right, Lux, I got your arrows.
Yeah. What are we hunting?
Hold on. Let me set the bait.
Can't hunt me, you dumbass.
Come on, you
That's not necessarily
motherfucker.
true. I mean, what?
I'm not getting the materials. Fuck you.
Who are the materials, Ace?
No. I don't want it.
I mean, I guess you don't have to.
I don't know if it's in a survival situation. I don't think I got a choice in the sounds of it. You guys seem to make a lot of food chart references.
Yeah. And?
Cow says what?
Yeah, tell me I'm safe during a survival situation.
Oh, you're
The
never
cow
safe.
says
I
what?
mean, what?
You can
The
never
bull
say-
says what? The shithead says what?
Fuck you. I ain't falling for that shit. Ooh, a shiny celery.
You're shiny.
Me, me, me. Oh. Okay there.
Alright, what are we hunting? Actually, let me put this pal back.
Here's a little bit.
You still have not told me what we're hunting.
We're going just around the island and finding all the spots.
Ooh, I got a lucky celery with motivational leader.
I do need to open this area up.
So, I could start making guild markers and share it with guild members for all the dungeons around the map if I want to, or if we want to. That would be up to y'all.
What do they do again?
So, guild markers is shared with all the guild members.
We skipped it. Oh shit. There it is.
Those things fuck me up, by the way. That's what I should have equipped. God damn it, every time I think about it.
Cause every time we touch, I got the feeling.
Oh, because
Oh,
Lunaris
fucking
has
shooting at my butt cheeks.
the hone in on Pal's ability.
Lunaris?
Yeah.
Yeah, but we're Vikings.
Ow. Being shot at. build it. Gildane's cool. I think you can ride that one too.
I would assume it's a horse. I would assume.
It's actually not a
If
horse. The one you just caught, the Gildane? No.
Oh,
Caught a few pals you can't ride, actually. You'd be surprised.
Alright.
You're a
Wait,
big cat.
where'd you go? You did the thing again.
yeah, no.
Okay. Ooh, fast travel. I need more of these. The Celadeer? Or Celestier?
Oh my god, you're a big depressor. I need you. Come here, there.
Because I want to get one in... Oh, dear God. Condense into... So I can upgrade its... Blessing of Purification.
This depressive boss name is several sleepless nights later.
I'm sorry, there's purple Pernelias? What? Alright.
What are you?
Were you already attacking? Oh, you were. Oh, no.
Lupin doesn't play him.
Oh, but it's the purple puppy.
Oh, begin.
Ow. Ow, ow. Ow, ow. Why does it have flamey turrets?
Because it's a flaming sock.
Yeah, pretty much.
Alright.
Items do stack in one pile if they're the same thing. Also, you can use client-side mods. I'm not going to put server ones on yet. I want to beat the game first before I do anything like that. Ideally. You just need stuff to pick up the piles. If it's just like pals dropping the food on the ground, it's always going to be piles. But like they stack if they're being put in a storage. That's kind of why my farm base right now is really great, because like a bunch of them or transport things, so they just transport straight into a chest right away. So it's not hanging out on the ground. And the chest is right by the farms, so they don't get lost on the way 10 feet away from them. Since pals and pathing are kind of butt.
That's what I forgot. I forgot to get food.
Because I haven't encountered any lag even when we had like 1,000. Hey, Lupin.
What?
Boss. Gildane. Boss Gildane.
Oh, there it is.
I assure you the boss is in there. They just all look the same size. Well, you just murdered them all. Come on. Alright. think I missed that one.
Boop, 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 boop. Oh.
But I don't know. I can look into it, but I'm not gonna install mods right away. I can see if there's server settings maybe that can help. I believe it does, Lo. But don't quote me on that one.
I mean, I'm sure let's get enough money, it wouldn't bother.
That's a boss?
Yeah.
It doesn't even look like a boss.
Get him!
Which one is
He's
it?
on a wall.
Which one is it?
The
Get
far
him
left, far
all!
left, the far left.
Shut up, Ace.
They're the same size!
Yeah, shut up, Ace.
I'm
Fuck
trying to
you.
help him, and you're just like, get him off! No, which one's the boss one, you dum-dum?
They're all the
You're
same
fuck, no
size!
gum gum for you, dum dum.
Come on, come on!
No, you get cum cum.
Ew.
Yeah, that's what you get for being a dum dum.
No, I think I'm okay. You leave me alone.
You can't make money, dum dum.
I don't want you near me, leave me alone!
But yeah, like, if you get better mover pals, they can haul a lot more too, which is really, really nice. Because we have some fire level ones, and they're actually pretty fucking baller.
You're a baller.
No.
Yes.
No.
Well, fuck you.
Fuck you.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't think I'd get this far.
Again, Ace?
You know,
I don't know
know
what to do now.
God damn it.
Ace, at the end, it doesn't even matter.
Is there
Okay,
stuff,
listen.
Nito, that just ups, like, individual stats, like, transporting or gardening, planting?
There's enhancement items.
Okay.
You'll
But you can
check in
also
our-
condense pals to do the
Does it?
same thing, can
Yeah.
you? Okay.
Nito is correct. You can get usually you get them from dungeons. The books do only one item.
So theoretically, you could boost some pals in transporting and just have them be
That's
mover
what we-
bitches.
That's what we did with the Cremus pals when we needed wool desperately. Loki
Yeah.
and I got a bunch of them and just condensed them into one.
Oh, that makes sense. So there's little tips and tricks to work around the multiple items on the ground thing.
It's a nice tower you got there, Nito. I see you've completed it.
I haven't condensed anything because I kind of just yellow it when I find. Oh, I
Well, you
found the
need-
Splatterina.
I think it's 8 pals for the first condense.
Wanna
Or
pinch it?
5.
Sure. There's a bird that's only got one skill, 7 mover bitch. Yeah, that makes sense. Because they want you to really use the pals, so that it makes a lot of sense, even if it's time consuming.
Easy worth it in the end.
Your words, Ace hole.
I did use an order. Fuck you.
I need the nyafias. I want them. I got one.
Here's the funny thing. That pal gets a shotgun.
I'm sorry, what?
Or its saddle or whatever. It gets a shotgun. I don't have it yet, but that's what it is. I hatched that pal, and I was like, I wonder if it gets a saddle. It, in fact, does.
That's fabulous. I've got 3 now, so I'll get the bonus soon. I'm sure we can find the boss for it.
I actually know where the boss is.
Do you?
Yeah, I know where the
Lupin,
boss is.
I say Lupin should know where it's at.
It's 5 pals, including the base pal, to make a 1-star ace, and then 8 more for 2-star, and so on. Okay.
It's just Palgary turn around.
Oh.
If you want to be specific, you know, it's not called a shadow. It's just called the Pal shotgun. Specifically,
Why does these little guys
have
have
to get
hyper
shotgun.
beam? The fuck is? Oh my god!
Yeah, if they're dark type, then that's why.
Jesus Christ. Anyways. 4 for 1-star, 8 for 2, 12 for 3, and 16 for 4.
That's a lot of pals.
Loaf coming in being the loaf wiki.
So, Loaf's done a lot of condensing. So.
Yeah, I know.
Loaf also do a lot of fucking too.
Oh, it's just a purple goat. I've got one of these.
Fuck him up.
Did not catch. I need to know exactly how many cakes to bake. Yes? How do the cakes work?
They fuck on the cakes.
That's a little weird, but I ain't.
Alright, well...
I have a big moo. It's called Prime
Tuck it
Beef.
in. Tuck it in.
Come here, you round fuck. Ah! I have big moo moo.
Yeah.
One's coming.
I just wanted to ride on my pretty deer. Loaf, it sounds like you're gonna be a baker next.
Uppies.
Hmm?
I have no idea what boss this is. The boss.
What's Splatterina? Wait, where are you? Did you keep going up?
Oh, it's flat. Yeah, okay. Oh, it's up more.
I am assuming. It's the only thing that makes sense. Right? No, I went past it.
Tex say he was leaving for dinner, or was that his computer giving him issues?
I don't know. Maybe it is down. I don't know where this is looking.
What is it? I can't see it. I don't see where it is.
I don't see where it is either. I'm going below to check, but I don't.
Yeah.
This
I think it's,
confuses
like,
me.
all the way around there.
I thought, well, maybe there's a cave or something, but like. I don't see nothing. I'm confused.
Sickled fish.
It's gotta be up there.
Somewhere up there. Dookie bitch.
There's nowhere else it could be.
Ace, are you hiding Splatterina in your
Hey,
bed?
Stormy, how you doing?
I don't even have the regular Splatterina. You got to ask Loaf about that.
Maybe it died. There's a large, like, soul here.
Those are just random.
Yeah,
If
but I've
you've
sometimes found
encountered-
them where a boss should be.
If you've encountered like a big circular area that's clear and there's nothing there, that's probably where it's supposed to be. Because the bosses are usually in clear open areas.
There's really no clear open areas here. And I've met them in non-clear areas too.
Yes.
But like,
Ooh, big art size.
this doesn't make sense. I feel like she'd be right here. For some reason. Maybe she doesn't spawn in the day.
Oh, you know what?
That is a possibility.
I know some are like that.
Alright,
We have
let's
a
go hit this
bit of
fucking gritty.
day. Sure.
By gritty, I mean fucking... Waypoint.
Oh, I've hit that one.
Oh, fuck you.
When Ace and I were looking for a spot to put the base.
Yes. Assassin's Creed.
Yeah. Got ramen. Ooh, what kind of ramen? What you got? What you got?
Does it have MSG? Ever.
Feel better?
Yeah.
What is angry? Oh, Velvet? No. Oh, something's apparently angry at me and I don't know what. Whatever. Ooh, the chicken. The chicken Maruchan is very good.
Classic.
Yeah, sure is. Oh, what's the Felbath? I was angry.
Felbat's got a pretty good partner skill. He's got a leeching skill. It's like 5% health back and damage.
Guess what? I know Fireball.
If we ever run into a mimic that mimics Lux, just ask him to do the Fireball.
Shut up.
Just say it.
Oh shit, I missed.
We gotta have some way to easily identify you.
Oh, ow. Oh, I fell. Why are these balls not hitting?
Hello, dungeon.
Come on, dude. Jesus Christ.
Seems like everyone's been having issues lately with the dungeon. They're not the balls catching or whatever. 'Cause even some of my higher level ones have been having issues.
I'm down to 7 spheres. Lupin.
Okay. Oh, let's get out of combat first. Ooh. Here, I have 8 more.
I went to the main base. Or do you want me to be at the farm base?
If you're gonna make spears, you'll probably want to be at the main base.
He was dropping some.
Yeah, I'm right by this checkpoint.
I teleported already. I figured you were gonna make more.
Go. Let's see if we've got any mats around.
These are level landing.
Oh, it's pal fragment stuff.
Right, that now. Can I do the knockout? Oh yeah, Nyafia shotgun. So the purple Kitsune is 59. But I can't actually put it yet, so I'm not gonna put it in my party.
All right, I'm making some fragments.
Okay,
My value.
sounds
I can
good.
make more spheres.
That's what I'm doing currently. Is going out palladium fragment hunting because we didn't have a lot of stone for them.
I was gonna say we had a shit ton of ore, so I mean we can use the ore too.
Oh, does it? What's the ore conversion rate?
2 to 1.
That's not terrible.
Yeah, our base is pretty cleared out. We must have a few transporting ones. 10 exotic spheres in this chest.
Oh, okay.
I'm just gonna grab those.
Grab these nuts.
Oh, my Relaxosaurus Rex is also a transporter.
Yeah.
Somehow the stuff goes from the ground up into his mouth magically. Sorry, I'm sorry, Lou. So I have a lot of transporting pals. So nothing's on the ground. This is awesome.
You're awesome.
So we could abuse the ranch here a bit because a lot of the planting gathering does transporting too. I'm not awesome. Thank you.
Shut the fuck up. You're awesome. Bully Lux into being awesome.
No.
No. Bully Lux.
No.
Let them know they're awesome.
You can't bully Lux into being awesome because they already are awesome.
Yeah. No, Bully Lux because
No.
they're awesome.
No.
Sorry, Lux, I don't make the rules. Just how it is.
No.
Hey, look here, you little shit.
Yeah. Ow. Fuck you, Lupin. Jesus Christ. Can you kindly eat a dick?
We weren't even fucking playing.
No, but I want to play because of that cat card now.
Yeah, see.
Well, like I said, luckily that comes out the same day they're doing their quality of life improvements as well. So
That would be nice.
I haven't actually looked into them, even though they've said something about it. I've got 3 eggs actually. Hey, whose ice egg is this in the incubator?
Not it, but I need to incubate things. So where's the incubator?
Probably yours left. Okay.
Oh, this one. Oh, we're gonna need more than this incubator.
Love says you can have it.
Are you sure? We're gonna need a lot more than these. Oh, you can do more than one, so you don't have to. Okay.
No, you can do 3 at a time. Yeah.
No, you can do more than that.
Oh, really?
You can do 12.
Oh, well, I'm gonna build another one. Right beside it.
I have returned.
What?
But you
Welcome
can
back,
only
Orc.
collect all of them. Okay.
Yeah.
So you can do more than that. You can only collect. Chill it. Yeah. None of these are anything I need or want.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna go.
Okay.
What'd I miss?
None.
Button button.
None button.
That's some stuff. That's some stuff.
That's a Fengloplex though, so I can actually get a saddle on that. That is more like it.
Okay. Back to see
Azure
if I
Moon.
can get alpha. Doll.
Do it.
What are they actually called? Like
What?
the alpha versions in this game.
Alphas. I'm assuming. Probably. I don't know. I don't know why they would change it from alpha. Pokemon can't own alpha.
Want to bet? Is
Yes.
it alpha? They tried.
I mean, yes, you're correct. They did try.
Alright, I'm back.
Welcome back.
I got an alpha Doomud and a regular Doomud. Funny as fuck.
Just show me on the map where it is. You fucking. That is so not helpful.
What are you looking for?
An alpha Nido.
Did you look up online if there was a boss?
There is no boss. And their spawn location is the desert.
Ooh.
Yes. Oh, Memrat. Yeah, what's so bad about the desert?
It's literally the whole desert though. Like, there's not a spot where I can be like, oh, check this area.
So good luck finding an alpha one at that point.
I'm gonna do it.
I'm not saying you won't or can't, just good luck.
It's so bright in here.
You're so bright.
I could be. I'm not.
That fucking Rihanna song, bitch.
I'm wondering if I'll have a better chance just like dungeon grinding.
I mean, that's possible if you can reset the bosses.
Oh, they have knocked ones! Oh my god.
You gonna answer Love's question?
Hang on.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
over
Loaf
here.
has a question for you.
I mean, I don't need. Like, it'd be cool if I could catch one, but. Give me a little time to see if I can find it naturally. Now I have to see how good a knocked Nidal is. Yeah, let me see if I can naturally find one in the wild. And if I can't find one like Saturday, then I'll call it a loss. And now I kind of want to get a knocked alpha.
This motherfucker.
I mean, it's the same exact pal, but then it has darkness. You should like the darkness. It's edgy.
I've already got a full team.
You gonna take that?
You have a full team for now.
And they're purple.
Oh, that's my Aggie.
Huh? Come get your Eggy. What Eggy? I don't have an Eggy.
Hey, dog, boss over here.
Oh.
You had the wrong marks.
Huh.
Hey.
Just gonna sit and pout. In fact, you should know better.
You in the desert still, Sec?
No.
Want to come do a desert dungeon?
Sure.
Don't
Where you
beam
at?
me. I didn't do none. I was just here.
I'm almost by, yeah, teleport something. Another teleporting.
Beam the other one. I still love how Snuggly just face plants into everything.
I know you said beam, but I kept hearing bean. I'm like, why are we beaning people? That's weird.
I mean,
That's magically great.
Oops.
Bullshit.
Fly
Bullshit.
here, because his aces. So I bought mug has a, I'm gonna call it a dirty soda because I don't know what else to call it. It's a root beer float soda. It's not terrible, but I bet you the A&W one's probably better
probably.
because mostly A&W is just a better soda. What am I stuck on? Hi, Bushi. Wow, my game is not rendering well for when I just saw it these.
I'll be right back.
Okay, bye, Loaf.
Ooh, who's he gonna go play with?
I don't know. It's gonna be great. I haven't died yet.
Ace.
Oh.
I was mostly asking if you wanted him, but there you go.
No.
That's it. Mercy Ring's coming off. Or that.
Yeah, you might want to put it back on just in case we do happen to.
Find something worth a while. Sir, you're supposed to be dead.
Thought I killed him.
He had 1 health when you shot him. I don't know why he didn't die.
That's why I'm a little confused.
Apparently he dodged a bullet. He's the Matrix.
You a bit staggery on my end. I don't know if it's me or you.
The answer is yes.
That's what I want to fucking alpha cognito. Hey, we got 2 ways we can go, by the way, Sec.
I went left. I have a
Bye,
sneaking
sir.
suspicion that right was the way to go.
Why is that?
Is there a diddly or squat here?
Well, we want to check it because there might be
Yeah.
2 bosses.
Oh, you're right. Oh, this keeps expanding, actually.
Well, then you probably went the right way. I'll go the other way and see what's up.
Land faster.
Hey, I touched the fire and I only took 1 tick of damage.
Only 1 tick,
Had
huh?
to work. Only 1 tick. But hot fix work. Hot fix.
Yeah, you went the right way, Stack. There ain't nothing. I went back. There ain't nothing there.
Oh, yep. Here's the boss room. Oh, well, that's a disappointment.
What is it?
Alpha fucking Benasum Lux.
You can reroll.
That's
the room.
not a disappointment, you fuck.
Well, you could get one of those out in the wild.
Just go away from the room and let it reset.
How far back?
You have to move at least,
At least
two
the
rooms.
2 rooms.
Okay. Carry me. I'm lazy.
I say if you've got a pal for riding or whatever, it'll be quicker to do it that way.
Okay, so this is one room.
Did you try to solo a tower?
Second room. Okay.
But I gotta come back to where you are. That's it. That's 3 rooms back, Stack. You didn't have to go that far.
No.
But there's still, honestly.
You don't gotta listen to that, baby. You don't know nothing good about nothing.
Fly to the air with the greatest of ease.
Okay.
Feel better?
You feel worse?
I don't know how it would affect me.
Well, then never mind.
What do we got? What do we got? What do we got?
It's
Didn't reset it.
still okay. You know what? Fuck it.
Yeah, fuck it. Do it live, Ace. Okay. Get all the mats.
Kapow!
Need. We just gotta. Balls.
Gets out, it's getting mollywop days.
Want to help with this sphere reduction, Lux?
The what?
You want to help me make some balls?
Yeah, I can do that. My Lileen's just finishing her planting, and then I'll
The dungeon?
throw someone out. Okay, if I help you, I'm going to acquire balls, so hold on.
That's totally fine. Part of it is for you to acquire balls.
I mean, yes, you're right. She's going to take a hot minute.
I don't know, I had that golf. The only thing I don't like is it's very artificial vanilla.
What?
This float mug soda. It's that overly sweet vanilla.
Probably because it's fake vanilla.
Fake news.
Taking the balls. Taking the balls.
Ooh, I was going to go for plantation to harvest sealed plus 10%, but we need Gumas leaf. Do Gumases just drop that in a ranch?
I think they do, or you just
I don't.
mass murder them.
I don't think I have one, so I think I'd have to
I've got one. Give me a second.
mass murder. I mean, I'm not against mass murder. Don't
Gumas-
read
yeah,
too
Gumas
much
cannot go
into
on
that.
Boom. Gumas. Gumas death.
You know what? 7 out of 10. 8 out of 10. I'll give you 8 out of 10.
There we go. I got another one on here.
At least it puts you in the next round.
Yeah. 7. Right?
Oh,
Right, Ace?
like that, you disqualified.
Well, you just
Aw.
fucking ruined it.
The judges had one of their scorecards. It was supposed to be 9, but they thought it was a 9. It was actually supposed to be a 6. I say we put this to vote. We all take off work tomorrow and say fuck the heat.
I
All in
really
favor?
want to. But I'm off a week in 2 weeks, or a week and a half, so I can't.
So jealous. Ooh, what's this blueprint like that? Taking off a whole week. Staycation?
Again, May. I murder the wild ones that want to attack me and eat me. And I don't mass murder every 5 minutes the pals that I capture and say I'll be friends with. I don't use a butcher
No, they
knife.
just do that to Ace.
I don't even butcher pals or like what the fuck.
I
No,
don't.
Alexis mass murders you.
I do mass
now.
murder Ace. It's fine. It's fine. Well,
I mean,
you need to stop getting me killed. So fuck you.
I didn't get you killed. Fuck you.
You got me killed in Phasmo the first time I met you.
fuck you.
Yeah.
That is still
And then he
a
called you
problem,
bot.
May. That is still a problem. We don't do that. Gumas leaves 10. That research will boost our plantation yield 10%.
Ooh, I found another dungeon.
So it's going to be really nice.
Give
We have everything else. We just needed the leaves.
me your dungeon.
Relief.
I
Wait a sec.
could
Are you
be.
accidentally currently?
At the front door.
Oh, we're
You
getting
could,
extra balls out of this, aren't we?
I'm gonna mark it on my map.
Oh, so you can know where they are.
Yeah. Just for counting fragments and shit.
See, now that's a big brain idea.
Hi, Brett. How you do? It's been a hot minute.
It's not dead. Oh, this is a lavender dungeon. Great. And little edge boy lizards. Wow, this is. I think. Is that one bigger than this? Yep. Way the sword beats way the machine gun.
Hey, return with more pizza.
Nice.
You mean uh-oh.
Oh,
I said
that's
nice.
Yeah,
Just
Anna
like to
texted
throw that
uh-oh.
out there.
No, I jumped in the water quickly, forgetting that being in water requires stamina to not die.
Sure does. Or a pal.
Hence the uh-oh. I did not have a pal out. What the fuck room is this? Huh. It's a giant nothing there, but it looks like it should be a thing. It's a big like room with a giant circle in the middle.
I hate when the dungeons generate a empty room. It's annoying.
Oh.
Sweet, thank you, love.
Wait, did I just? Oh, that's way funny.
I'll start that once we finish these last two.
So I accidentally threw a sphere. Caught the paddle.
Right. Oh, you started. Oh shit, never mind. I just want more food. All the food. Load. It's fucked up.
Hey, remember that Kativa that was drowning?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's back. I think it's a scripted thing because the T-fin is watering it again.
It probably is.
Pick up the balls, Lux.
Got him.
That's kind of fucked up, but funny.
It
as
is
shit.
kind of fucked. Like they have a scene of a pal waterboarding into the hell.
That's fucking funny as shit.
What are we attacking?
I'm Brand.
We have enough time to
Back.
probably fight one or two things.
Oh,
Has
Ace,
anyone
why'd you
fought-
make time go faster? Fucking
My
hell.
fault. Fuck you.
It is
Has
your
anyone
fault.
been to this island of ice over next to the desert?
I haven't. There's a boss there though.
Yeah, I'm gonna go see what it is. Maybe something cool. Sure.
No
I'll make a
moment.
waypoint. That's right there. Oh, that was sad. Fast travel. Fast travel.
Oh, okay. Alright. Let's do that. I'm gonna go in here and it's already gonna be dead. Oh, it's the giant tortoise rock.
No, it is Mario Tortoise. If you hit it, you get a one-up mushroom, and then do drugs. Oh. I don't have one of you. Oopsie. Honey, honey. Ah.
You good?
Oh shit! I know. We can have this pal.
Do.
Huh?
The one that second eye at
Yeah.
level 60.
You got this.
Okay, go with pal.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Good pal. Good for water traveling. Really fucking fast.
Excuse me.
Better.
Fuck! Just get the ball, you bitch.
Damn, it seems to be giving everyone trouble.
I mean, level 60s are gonna be trouble.
Well, no, it's just he's using the legendary sphere.
I have trouble with exotic spheres on a fucking
Alright, there we go.
60.
You want to
Was
fuck
it?
with that?
Was down.
Sure. What level is it?
What?
60.
Was down here.
Oh, it's dead.
Oh.
He's just chilling, living his best life. You know what? I'm gonna go back up here.
It's a very small area to fight in.
What pal is this for?
The one we can have.
A whale?
Oh.
Ow! Oh boy, something hit me.
A unicorn?
No.
He dashed past my form. That's why I keep forgetting to take out Lunaris. Can you kindly fuck all the way off, dude?
No.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay, maybe
Comment on
one
a
more
good
thing
check,
if
but
they're here.
We don't know where you're at.
There's one kind of far. Not too bad.
Your body doesn't stay offline anymore, so I don't know where you're going to spawn.
You'll probably just spawn in midair.
We ever find your boss, Scorpion?
No, I don't know where he is. I can just look it up though. Wait. If he's even still a boss.
That would be sad if they took him away. Nope knows where he is.
Oh.
I don't know where you went, Lupin.
Oh, you know what? I bet you 100% it's the one boss I haven't found on the fucking desert
Oh.
island area.
Hi.
It's in a cave. With
Remember,
where
I'm not
last
as
time.
speedy.
That's fair.
The draw distance is absurdly short for some reason.
Ooh, that's a big egg.
Oh, I haven't done this.
Huge egg.
What fight? Oh, way tower.
Did you do this one?
No, I just didn't see where you went.
Oh, Menacing doesn't have a
Um.
saddle. Man, what's up with that?
What is that, a saddle?
Menacing the scorpion.
Oh, really?
Yep.
It's way less interesting now.
Okay.
Go for one more.
Yeah.
No, he's still in the same location. This is definitely the same location as before. Hey, buddy.
Oh, cacti, what are you?
Wait, thanks, Lo.
Gonna wait for Lupin to finally realize I'm not here yet.
These birds make me uncomfortable. I'm capturing one.
What birds?
The Loombas. He's just
The what?
Palu. Buzz.
You have to show me whenever you get it. Ooh, Palladius would be nice. Does Lux have a Palladius?
Yes.
Yep.
Went back and finally was able to get one that didn't murder each other with Lupin yesterday. It actually respawns pretty quick.
Uh-oh. Please don't kill your friend. I need this one.
What's this one? Where is it?
That is
As-
literally a shtick. It interrupts its enemy's rhythm with dance moves.
That's.
I'm gonna check the
funny,
waterfall.
Ooh, effigy.
I ain't gonna lie to you,
That's
Loaf. I
different.
saw your Frost Stallion. I was like, that's a weird place for a random Frost Stallion to spawn.
There's nothing here. Effigies
First
though.
off,
Alright. Do we want to kill the Necromus first, or just kind of go after the Pest?
There is a cave.
Huh. I don't do a lot of damage to him.
He hits it with his little of arms. Oh.
This is not the mound I wanted.
So, is there? Can you just like directly travel into those bubbles?
The Sanctuaries?
Yeah.
That's Lupin.
Stupid.
yeah. Oh yeah, you can.
What
Is
are
a terrible
you?
idea.
You're like quivering, except majestic. And
Yeah, you just
I don't
fucking
know,
don't get
Forrest.
caught.
Wait, don't get caught.
Don't
Yeah,
get
there's
caught.
one there.
They will butt fuck you. Like not in a fun way.
No lube.
Oh yeah. They don't. The robots do not care about lube. They need
He just
lubrication.
one-shot
studies.
your fucking Frost Stallion.
yeah, they will do that.
So is there cool stuff on?
Congratulations.
It's a heavyweight and easygoing, and apparently easygoing's a bad thing.
Oh well. Your local
I think
freaked
it's
that out.
adorable. Can I ride it? It's a dragon. Seem to be able to ride a lot of the dragons.
Oh. There's a Mesosting Terra here.
Good one to end it on, eh?
Oop, I ran into a wall because there's rain chat. Makes your shield recharge start sooner and go faster. Oh my god, that's amazing. I need that. Because it feels like it takes an hour for your fucking shield to come back.
Alright, so this place spawns Terra Mesostings.
Those are all shiny. Oh, that turtle is shiny. Like, gold plated. That's fucking cool.
Face.
This is a Logger 6.
Thanks, Loaf.
Here's a $1 million question. Can you kill those robots?
Level 80. I'm sure at some point you can, but won't be a while.
You're cute. Aww. It's just so majestic. And I can't ride it yet. It has a saddle, but it's at level 60. I'm 58.
you're closer to that one.
Yeah. No, you don't need to chop down every tree. God damn it.
What tree chop down?
I like that tree. That tree is now gone. It's fine.
Good thing it'll respawn.
It's just a sad pile of wood, though. It just makes me sad.
All are just sad.
But look at it. No. Come here. Let me pet you. Not the tree. Oh, you're adorable. You probably don't fly, but that's okay. That's kind of why I liked having a Celestia in my party. I'd like to get an alpha of that and boost it because its passive is really good too.
What's the passive for the Celestia?
It does a regen for you and your party. Health regen, more specifically. That's one of the ones I wanna boost for sure. What's up, Lo?
Yeah.
So Necro and Palladius are just there for if like stuff invades the base to get attacked, so you can take them out. And
Or if Loaf wants, just take them out of the ranch.
you can take out the Relaxosaurus Lux too, because I only need that when I'm cooking. So the bottom 3 you can take out. Just put them back in when you're done, or if you need someone to stab something. Because when we were first here, something spawned and murdered a bunch of my farming pals, so that's why they're there, pretty much. They are the attack squad. That's all they do. They don't do anything else here. So, just do those.
Got another min-mog.
Everyone else, though, we need because of farming.
A new dungeon.
Technically, fucking big-ass Knocklim over here can fight. So we should be fine regardless.
Need to make an upgrade of my armor possibly.
Here, do you want me to take him out for you? And just, go nuts when I'm offline? Well, I did it anyways. Fuck you. It's 3 less pals eating berries, so... it kind of benefits me. We have a happy whale and a Knocklim, we should be alright.
Uh-oh.
What?
Get away from me. Get away from me. Get away from
Alright,
me.
you're getting one last pet, because you're just fucking cute as shit. The Palumba thing? I mean... I think I only put it because it was another planter and gatherer. Since we had so many fields.
Both doesn't like the dancing pals.
I mean, that's honestly fair. But I took the 3 out already. Can we use this instead? Yeah, sure. Here. Let me, I guess I'm not to. By all means. Yeah, put them up on top, and then the 3 can be
Upshot.
for when you breed. Oh, I see. You got him. You got him already working, don't you?
The club's working.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. I wasn't gonna entirely judge you, just mostly judge you. Anyways, thanks for paying. The bases look like they're in good shape. Ace, you're amazing. Thank you. Oops. Rubal.
Can we mail Ace another box of cookies?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
guess.
Oh,
you
I
do
got it.
this all
I can
day
mail him-
long, so
I can mail him some cookies and hot sauce.
do it.
Do that.
Wait, seriously, Ace,
Yeah.
thank you. Big preach. I will hunt anything with you that you need, or farm anything you need. I'm not very talented in Palworld. I'm
I'll
sorry.
probably upgrade.
What do you
my armor
mean?
next time.
What do you
What?
mean you're doing great in Palworld? Shut the fuck up.
I can hunt stuff and I can farm stuff. That's about all I can do.
Next level, I can get hex line armor, so I'll wait for that and then farm my own shit. That way
I'm not
decent
high enough for
idea.
that yet. One day. Look at there.
I need to build a Gatling gun too.
Didn't you have one?
Nope.
Oh, what the fuck, dude?
Bitches, you killed the fucking big boss.
But here's the thing: if I wait for the next level, I can get a laser Gatling gun.
Ace, do it.
But I think the regular Gatling gun for now. 'Cause
Alright,
I think the laser shit takes a lot of materials.
fair enough. Alright, you guys have a good night. I'm gonna hop off. Shower and stuff. Alright, that is it for me tonight, guys. I will be back on Friday, probably with more Palworld, but then maybe some Rivals on Saturday. We'll see how the rest of the week goes. You guys have a wonderful rest of your night. I'll see you all later. Good night.